I have the circuit of the irrigation robot. Here in my circuit, you can see the distance sensor here. I have a soil moisture sensor here. This first motor represents the water valve, and the second motor here represents the actuator for the arm of the soil moisture sensor. I have a breadboard here with 2 chips. It connects the solar cell, my gear motor that moves the robot forward, and the Arduino. Now, whenever I start the simulation, I start with the distance sensor reading 44 inches, which makes my gear motor move forward with the robot. Whenever I adjust the distance to less than 20 inches, then my robot begins the process of taking the soil moisture reading. First, it moves the arm down to the soil, and then it takes the moisture reading. After it takes the moisture reading, the code determines whether water should be applied or not. Once the moisture in the soil is high enough that the moisture reading reads high, then the motor will run to move away to the next plant. So here in my code, at the top, I have all of my integers labeled. I have my pin mode set up with the motor pin representing the gear motor, trig and echo for the distance sensor, raise arm and lower arm is controlled by the DC motor. I have a moisture sensor input and a valve open and valve close. I start the code with testing for distance. It moves on to an analog read of the soil moisture. It takes that information on that sensor value to determine if the rest of the robot should run. It starts with if the distance is greater than 20 inches, the robot should move forward until the distance is less than 20 inches. Then the motor that moves the robot forward stops so that the arm can lower for the moisture sensor. It takes the data and then raises the arm. If the moisture reads low, then the valve opens on the other DC motor that I have here to represent the valve. It closes, and then the motor will then move forward to the next object. Once it comes near the next object, then it just starts the whole loop again.